This creature's last two brain cell looks as though it's fighting for third place, and I can relate to that. Hey everybody, this is Kasu, and welcome to another mod review for Ark Horizon. Ark Horizon as in 9 new creatures separated into 6 different tiers. Starting with the Dodo tier to the Raptor tier, Carno tier, Alo tier, Rex tier, and lastly Giga tier. So I'll be splitting this particular mod into two. I'll be going through from Dodo tier to Kano tier first. Then in the next video, I'll going through the Alo tier to the Giga tier. Without further ado, let's begin starting with the Dodo tier. First up on the list is the Banana Nocmeus. The Banana Nocmeus comes in 3 different variants. The normal variant, the X variant, and the Aberrant variant. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, so that's it, right? Don't need to go through anything else, right? Since Dodo tier means it's practically useless. Not exactly. This creature is actually really, really unique, which I'll get into later. To tame this creature, you have to passively feed it honey when you're level 35 and above. And as you can see from the sparkly effects on these creatures, when you're near it, you will gain the lucky buff. This lucky buff will last for 2 minutes, as you can see at the bottom corner there. That oxygen is not oxygen buff but a luck buff, which will help you increase the quality of loot drops. Additionally, after you tame the creature, it will passively create these, the Banana Nocmeus skill, or rather its own skill. And you might think to yourself, oh, so what can this skill be used for? Can it be used to craft anything special? Not for crafting, but for trading. So what I mean by trading is that there is no new NPC that is added in this mod. However, if you were to create this particular module, which you can create in your own inventory, like here, it just requires element dust and metal ingot. Once you have this particular module, all you need to do is equip it onto your banana fish, and you can craft your artifacts. It requires 250 skills to craft one artifact, so you might require a small farm or a big farm of these fishes to collect them efficiently. But this is a much more easier way or simpler way for you to collect or farm for artifacts. And you might think to yourself, oh, okay, so that's it, right? No more abilities for the Banana Nocmeus? Not exactly. Because if you go to the Aberrant and the X variant, if you were to equip them with their module, the Aberrant variant will actually drop the the Aberrant artifacts. And if you were to use it on the X variant, you will be open up to similar to Helena's store or shop where you can buy any materials with the skill. And again, some of the materials are much more expensive, like for example the element, which requires 200 skill. So if you want to efficiently farm them, just tame a lot of them. And yeah, that's about it for this creature. It's not a combatant, it's not a fighting creature, rather it is a farm creature. And honestly, pretty interesting that we are now seeing much more different variants instead of just combat creatures. There are some creatures that are meant to be collected and farmed. And yeah, that's it for the Banana Nocmeus. Now that I finished talking about the banana fish, which is the only Dodo tier creature in this entire mod, we'll go on to the Raptor tier creatures. First up is this, the Gillicus. The Gillicus is a something like a hyena of the sea, and it is tameable by passively feeding it prime fish meat. You have to be a minimum level of level 15 in order to start taming it. It comes in 2 variants, the normal variant and the X variant. These creatures do have a pack bonus ability that is up to 6 creatures, and they will actively hunt megalodons, manta rays, and piranhas. They will not hurt you unless you hurt it first. Additionally, they have a secondary bite attack that does a Deinonychus style bleed that has a 5-second cooldown. And yeah, that's it. Other than being a peaceful creature towards the player, and honestly very special, or rather a very much needed small creature that is stronger than a piranha, or rather this is just a piranha plus. This creature is quite unique in its style and also its very vacant eye. Like, Jesus Christ, look at it. And yeah, that's it. That's it for this small, seemingly harmless creature. Now, up next on the Raptor tier list is something that a lot of dinosaur lovers should know about, and that is the Protoceratops. The Protoceratops comes in 5 different variants. First up is the normal variant, the crystal variant, the X variant, the Paleo Ark variant, and lastly, the E variant. Now, in order to tame any of these creatures, all you need to do is to passive feed it with either berries, veggies, simple kibble, cactus sap, or golden sap, where you must be level 15 to feed it. However, if you're not level 15 and you do see this creature, you can actually KO tame it. Now let's move on to its abilities. First ability that is very different from all its Ceratopsian family is that it can turn in place, similar to the Spinosaurus if it's standing on its 2 feet. Now, to test out its abilities, I'll be summoning a raptor. So, first on its ability is its left click, which is a bite attack, which does, around 30 damage. The bite attack can also harvest fiber and also berries. Additionally, the berries do have a weight reduction to them. As you can see, it's 2.4 in my inventory, but it's 1.8 in his inventory, similar to the Stegosaurus. Right click is a head bash attack. Unfortunately, this head bash doesn't really does any topper, but it does slightly more damage than the bite attack. His C key is a buff roar, which will give resistance. It will give a 15% damage resistance and immune to bleed. It lasts for 15 seconds and has a 10-second cooldown after the buff is gone. His X key is a stomp attack that does slightly less damage and doesn't really do much except a similar knockback. Additionally, for the stomp attack, it can harvest rocks, like so. It does the same effectiveness as a stone hatchet. Also, for flint, metal, and stone, it does have a weight reduction. As you can see, it's 51 and 0.7 here, whereas if I add it in, it's 0.3, 0.5, and 25 here. And lastly is its left control, which is a tail swipe attack that hits twice apparently. As you can tell, that actually hurts quite a lot. And yeah, that's it for the Protoceratops. Honestly, a really helpful, despite being raptor tier, a really helpful starting creature, especially for people who are trying to start out in Ark. And lastly is this derpy looking amphibious creature called the Labyrinthondontia. I'm so sorry if I butchered it, which is the largest amphibious creature. This creature has 7 different variants, starting from the normal variant, which has a stripe looking pattern, the tropical crystalline variant, which has a little crown on its head, the eerie variant, which keeps changing color every now and then, the R variant with a much more intricate looking pattern, the sunken variant, which has more color on the underside than the top side, the aberrant variant, which probably just glows in the dark, and lastly the X variant, which has probably the most terrifying eye of all of them. Like, look at that, all of them has the round eye, this one has a slit for an eye. So how do you tame any of these guys? Well, you just need to knock it out and feed it the same food as the Baryonyx. Let's take a look at its abilities. So for its first quote-unquote hidden ability is that it will create organic polymer in its inventory just every now and then. This is the same for every single one of these amphibious salamander looking creatures, except for the crystalline variant. The crystalline variant creates primal crystals. Fantastic for if you want to tame some crystal wyverns. Now let's take a look at its abilities. Well, first things first, even as you should know, since it's a salamander, it's pretty slow on land. But in the water, it is not as fast, but still faster than usual. First on ability, his left click is a bite attack. That, that's a normal standard bite attack. His right click is a tail swipe. However, the tail swipe needs to, face behind. Not sure what's the hitbox on this tail swipe, but it doesn't seem like it's hitting anything. Oh yeah, the hitbox on the tail swipe is really small, so it has to directly be behind. However, the tail swipe does inflict the scalded effect. Again, not scolded, scalded. D key is a belly slam, like so. And it does more damage than usual. And if I'm not wrong, you can actually spam it. And it does immense knockback. Obviously, the smaller the creature, the bigger the knockback, as shown here. So, for his X key, it is Noxious Gas. This Noxious Gas will deal damage over time to creatures nearby, while also scaring away raptor-sized creatures. So as you can see, raptor-sized creatures will run away from it. Also, another one of its hidden ability is that if it eats a dead corpse, it will have the same effect as the Argent Turvis, where it will have rapid regeneration. For its left control, it is a bellow. Sounds funny as hell. Let's hear it a few more times. Unlike the other creatures, some of the variants does have some small differences with its other variants. So, similar to the Spinosaurus, only the sunken and tropical variant have a hydration buff when entering water. As you can see at the top right hand corner, once I touch water, I do have this hydration buff. But if I swap towards the old, or rather the normal Labyrinth, the normal Salamander, even though I'm literally swimming or like drowning in the water, I do not have the hydration buff. So only the sunken and the tropical variant does have this buff. Actually, the sunken variant's noxious gas effect is slightly different from the normal variant, where it inflicts a rage debuff on enemies. So yeah, it does inflict the noxious gas, the normal noxious gas effect that will scare away any raptor-sized creature. However, it will also inflict the rage debuff. As you can see, there's a rage buff there. So perfect for tanking, I guess, even though it doesn't look like a creature that can tank. And also, the sunken variant can indeed collect silica pearls through its bite attack, similar to the anglerfish. And yeah, that's it for part 1 of the Ark Horizon mod. I went through from Dodo tier to Raptor tier and lastly to Carno tier. And I have not seen anything from Arlo tier and above, but honestly speaking, all the creatures in this mod seems like very vanilla friendly, so you can add it to your game and it won't impact as much as, you know, some other mods. With that being said, this has been Kasu, and I hope to see all of you in the next video or stream. Bye! Come, say bye. Who's a good boy?